So I thought what I'd do is I've got a selection of images that I've shot which kind of highlight some of the ways I work and like stuff that I do. So I can either go through and explain how I did stuff, or if you want to ask any questions, by all means go for it. But first, just a bit about how I got to where I am now. I studied fine art at uni in Kingston. Came out, worked in a studio for a little bit. I don't know if any of you have heard of Pixie Photos. Yeah, didn't stay there very long. Went to Norway and worked on a rafting centre, doing photographing the whitewater trips and selling the photos for a summer season, which was pretty cool. Came home, found a job eventually, freelancing for a company called Take That Photo, and they have a contract with Barclays, which I was talking to you about earlier. They sponsor the Premier League, so the trophy goes on tour. We're going to take people's photo with it. It's fairly easy work, but still, you get to meet a lot of people, and it's quite sounds quite cool anyway. And now I'm doing an MA. So yeah, I'll try and keep these quite short. Don't want it to be boring. And yeah. So yeah, start with kind of technicalities of shooting sports. You usually having high shutter speeds and yeah, wide open aperture. And I tend to use my centre spot in the focus. I don't know if any of you have the ways you use focus, obviously auto, but I tend to pick the centre spot so I know where I'm pointing. I don't know if that's a standard for everyone, or yeah, cool. I should have that then. And I always shoot in manual whenever I can, rather than aperture priority. I just find sometimes it's easier. It depends on the light and where you are. If it's obviously a cloudy day and it's going from light to dark and light to dark, stick with aperture priority or whatever. Yeah, and also I try and stay away from like standard action portrait and try and mix them up as often as I can when I'm at work. Shooting stuff like you guys are doing today, where you need to get a picture of people doing their thing for them to buy. That's cool, but I always try and look for that extra thing to make my work creative, and that's what makes up my portfolio. So yeah, get creative. This is a one exposure. The only alterations I've made to it are there were some lights in the background that I just took out just to give it a nice clean background. Of a circus performer being spun around on a rope attached to the ceiling, quite high, quite fast. This skateboarding, putting some lights under a skateboard, a bit different, just to mix it up a little bit. So yeah, slowing it down for a nice pan shot, one way of being creative. Sometimes, like I've got some motorsport pictures in it, I was talking about earlier as well. The temptation is to crop in really close, get in on the detail, but that also can work the other way. And like with the trees, gives it quite a nice sort of circular motion. Just putting it in context, that is the clubhouse at Silverstone.
Oh, clubhouse.
Using what's in the background to give us some context. What else do I do? This is Silverstone again. I'm helping cover the GT4 series with some of the TV and production people at my university. So I'm doing stills, then in video. This is way overexposed, technically speaking, but it works because of the guy with his little pitboard and the drivers what their times are. A bit different. I tend to find myself shooting quite well for things that would work. So I've been told in print where you can use half an image to put text over. It's just sort of how I frame stuff, I guess. And then very obvious one. I don't know how many of you use Flash particularly. It's not something we usually associate with sports action because you can't always for putting people off what they're doing. But this was shot with the Flash on high speed sync. my fisheye that I'm borrowing from uni, and when I shoot with it I try and not make things obviously fisheye. Like the close-up party shots you get that are kind of cool and bendy. I don't know, I think this works because the light's kind of zigzag. I don't think it's honest, but and again, that was done with a remote and a fisheye, but I don't know if you can really tell.
Because the ground, when you look at the
Yeah,
ground.
it's quite slight. I like to think anyway.
Yeah, like it's only when you said fish like that.
But yeah, again, another thing, try and get something different, or I'm always thinking what can I get that's different, and putting the camera in different places. So this one, I had the camera stuck on top of a monopod, as balanced as I could, and I've got a little remote for it, and the same with this, I was stood at a nice safe distance for that too.
Oh wow.
Again, conveniently placed balcony. Just, use what you've got. I think we're nearly done. Yeah. Get high, get low. Everyone else takes pictures from 5 foot, whatever you are, high, 2 for me. Get up, down, everyone, people who aren't photographers take pictures from here. It's a fairly obvious one, I guess. Remote flash, taking the flash off the camera again. This was shot, I borrowed the bike from a bike shop for some stuff I was doing. Went on a bike ride with a couple of friends. This was actually shot in a tunnel on the bike track. But yeah, and one of my friends is conveniently about 6'7", so he made a perfectly good light stand for it. So yeah, just sort of using the lights to isolate it, even though it's conveniently nice and dark in the tunnel. So you wouldn't know it wasn't shot in a studio kind of thing. More remote flash. Pretty simple. Just park them either side of the puddle at a safe distance again, away from the muds. Lights. And another thing that I think really makes a big difference to what I hope is most of my work is the background. I have a bit of a bugbear thing about backgrounds. I love a good clean background. Sounds a bit ridiculous, but I always look for a good background. So yeah, nice and clean like this. I managed to persuade someone to let me go up in a cherry picker at one end of the hockey pitch when there was space, because the coaches were filming the matches. That's the under-16s Netherlands hockey team, an international match. These are probably some of my best backgrounds, or I like to think they are. I hope so anyway. I don't know what you think. In the pit lane at Silverstone. Bristol Warriors rugby. They let me in to photograph a training session before a couple of matches. And Aston Martin. And that one's from Oldham Park, where it rained quite a lot. That day is the day that prompted me to spend money on a rain cover for my camera. So yeah, I don't know what you think of this one. Just paying attention to what's around and the framing of stuff. It's just a couple of that's pretty much it for what I've got. I don't know, has anyone got any more questions about them?
How do you generally, because obviously that's a fairly, should we say, artistic side
Yes.
for, rather than, for what a client might want
Yeah.
now, how would you generally approach a sort of situation where there are more sort of action-based shots where it's going to be quite congested in situations and things like that?
What, like a match?
Well, I mean, today when I did the badminton, there was eight games going on at once in a
Yeah.
very small location. So between each court, you had about 2 feet.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can't get
Yeah.
clean backgrounds and things like that.
No.
So I just wonder how you would approach.
Like I say, if the client wanted stuff like this in a match, I guess I'd probably explain to them that that's probably not going to happen. So we can set up a shot, maybe on an empty court or something where you can be a bit more in control of stuff. I guess I might suggest that. I've done that before now, and sort of just take people to one side and do it
Yeah.
a little in somewhere else.
Where are the lights? Are they attached to his ball?
Yeah, with a lot of duct tape.
I was going to say.
I bought some the LED work lamp things from Kaplan's and just stuck them on. Yeah. They did actually take quite a beating.